Assalamu alaikum, this video too. Okay, so the prophet born of a virgin was not a Christian. Christianity is a Western, invention. Now, Judaism and Islam, there are spiritualities. Some say, oh, they don't believe in religion. Religion is controlled by man. Well, if you see it that way, it could be seen that way if you see it by the way of Christianity, right? But Judaism and Islam is a spirituality, right? It incorporates, all of creation, right? And the teachings of the teachings of Islam and Judaism is the foundation of a comprehending spirituality, right? Now, another thing too, is that, so he was not a Christian, right? Christianity was formed by Paul of Saul, who never met the prophet born of a virgin. And he was from Tarsus, right? And that's where the Ashkenazis get their brand of Islam from, right? And then that's where I was going to go. Christianity is a pseudo Judaism. It's appropriation. A spiritual appropriation is what Christianity is. It's a spiritual appropriation. No, it is spiritual appropriation of Judaism, right? And then it's the religion of the Gentiles, what the Zionists call the Goyim, right? The Goyim. It is the spirituality of the Goyim, and Goyims are less than animals, and that's why when they enslave or Gentiles, the Goyim are less considered by the Zionists to be less than human. So when they enslaved the Hebrew Israelites, took away everything that is divine to them, right? Then gave them the religion of the Goyim, the religion of the Gentiles, that made them eligible, according to the Zionists, eligible for enslavement and persecution, because the Goyim, the Gentiles, are said to have no rights by God, endowed upon them by God. So they took away your Judaism, Hebrew Israelites, DMT, melaninly rich, black Hebrew Israelites, Foundation Americans. They took away your Judaism, gave you the religion of the Gentile, their religion, and took your Judaism, and now they're claiming that and claiming benefits to it, right? They're claiming your reparations, right? Because they've been persecuted, right? And they're the ones who enslaved you by way of Christianity, right? The Pope would be considered a Gentile, a Goyim. And he knows that. He knows I'm not saying anything alien to him. They know it. Only one who don't know it is the DMT, melanin richly black Hebrew Israelites. That's you. Everybody knows it. You just need to get with your own program. They practicing your spirituality against you. That is Kabbalism, right? Kabbalah is the spirituality of Judaism, right? And they're practicing that. That is knowing the placement of the stars, utilizing the celestial heavens to manifest what you want. That's spirituality. And you're to follow the procession of the equinox, right? According to Allah's will, based upon the foundation. That's what they're doing. That's why they want to try to sacrifice their manufactured red heifer themselves, Cain, which inshallah will go back upon them, will backfire upon them. Let them destroy themselves. When they sacrifice the red heifer, their red heifer, mashallah, let them that'll be sacrificing themselves, mashallah, the synagogue of Shaitanyahu, Iblis, right? They're themselves. They are the red heifer. The Juj and Majuj, Gog and Magog, synagogue of Shaitanyahu, Khazarian, Bukranian, Zionists, Nazis, KKK, Corpse Pizza Party, Democrat rhinos are the synagogue of Shaitanyahu, right? As Bush called himself, right? Senior called himself Magog, right? Okay. And allied himself with the Nazis, with Hitler, right? Bill Gates and what do they call it? The computers, IBM, what right, was uh, used by the Nazis, right? Was bigly used by the Nazis, right? Okay, so anyway, yeah, so they culturally appropriated your spirituality and gave you their organized spirituality and said, gave you their white Christ, their slave master, who became your slave master mentally and spiritually. And he was a homosexual himself. So your Christ, the one you call your Christ, your God, one you pray to, hang on your walls, teach your children to pray to, is a homosexual. Really? Black people? And you wonder why you can't get out the ghettos? And I'm not talking about the Jim either. I mean, as if I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I am, but I don't ascribe to plantation mentality. And many may hate Candace Owens, but Candace Owens spoke the truth when she said her allegiance is to God. Her allegiance is to God, and many didn't like that, and they fired her. But that's a bold statement to make, and a very courageous statement to make. So I support her on that, mashallah. Now, so anyway, and get off your very enemies of the Hebrew Israelites is the Democratic Party. The one you vote blue no matter who, the one you're voting for, some of you are voting for, is a Zionist. He's against you, and you wonder why they don't want to give you reparations. They don't want you to advance. And even if they offered you reparations, think about it. You have to vote for them first and then just turn around and tell you no. It's going to take time to administer because they want to implement their plan. From their perspective, they're almost there. All they need is one more term, one more, not even a whole term, but just a little bit more time. And their ultimate plan is to do you in. Another thing, many are angry at Abomination O'Biden, right? For his acknowledgement of the homosexual holiday on the same day of Easter, right? The resurrection of the sun, right? Benefiting the Muslims, right? And those who believe in the celestial spirituality, right? Because the sun is symbolic for the sun, actual sun, right? Now, the son of Ra, the son of Aries, right? The son of Sirius, right? Now, so they're upset because, he said about the homosexuals, transgenders on that day. Well, Muslims felt the same way when Trump tried to acknowledge Jerusalem as the capital of the Zionist Nazi occupation of Palestine. That's how Muslims felt. Okay? And I pray to Allah, but I don't know if he will or not, that PDJT will be more balanced in his foreign policy. I pray that he will be more balanced in his foreign policy because Jerusalem all of Palestine belongs to the Muslim Jews, and I will even say Christians. Why? Because, you don't have to be a Muslim or a Jew to own your house in a country such as Palestine. Okay? So, and even those who are not Christian, Muslim, or Jew, if they were born in Palestine, they're entitled to their ancestral heritage, ancestral culture, ancestral land, alhamdulillah. Now, so now Biden has attempts to recognize the holy day of that has been recognized for the resurrection of the sun, right, as it's regenerated in Aries, right? And they try to recognize that and for the homosexual as a homosexual day, okay, which is an abomination. Even to say that there's homosexual marriage, because marriage is represented by Miriam, the mother of the prophet born of a virgin, right? So that's sacrilegious too. So what Biden done is sacrilegious, just as what PDJT did was sacrilegious, and I hope he's going to be more balanced in his application of foreign policy. Okay, because that's where we do disagree, and that's where I where most people draw the line is at their faith, as many Christians have drawn the line at their faith and condemning abomination Obidiner for trying to acknowledge Easter as a homosexual day, transgender day, which it is not. Alhamdulillah, I don't recognize that. Muslims don't recognize that. Jews don't recognize that. And Christians don't recognize that. Okay? Obidiner condemns himself. He recognizes it, and that's fine. But just because he's holding an office don't mean a damn thing. Because guess what? Allah may not even recognize that office. Because I would imagine he don't. Why? I imagine he don't. Right? Because it was occupied. It too is a result of an occupation, enslavement, and all this until they redeem themselves, right? And they make restitution make atonement for their sins, their crimes against humanity. I don't think they're going to be recognized. That's why reparations must be paid. And as I said, I advise all Al-Qibulan countries to demand reparations for what was done to your nations, which is my nations too, because my ancestral heritage goes back to Al-Qibulan, and also Palestine. Demand reparations, right? You deserve it. If everybody else can demand it for their the atrocities that was perpetrated upon them, so can you. And Hebrew Israelites in America, y'all, we gotta stay. What does it say? Stay on code. We gotta stay on code, as a black authority says. Stay on code, right? And demand our tangibles, okay? And I'll give high salute to Vicky Diller. Oh my God, the way she dealt with and spoke truth to RFK. Oh, she kicked ass. I give her Queen's hugs. May she be divinely protected and continue to be divinely guided, because that was a powerful, powerful interview and statement that she made, and all of it was truth. So I give her props. And to all the other light workers out there that are bringing divine consciousness to the world at the expense of their own lives, right? Okay, and now, again, with the persecution of PDJT, you can see why many people don't want to identify as being black. And those who are not black that attempt to identify as black, that's like saying a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. If you don't have the DMT, you're not black. If you don't have let's put it this way, if you don't have the seal, you ain't real. And the seal is in the DNA, right? The seal is in the DNA. The Hebrew Israelite, the melanin rich black Hebrew Israelite is the seal that's in the DNA. Okay, so you can't just walk around claiming it because you are related, not even related, because you were raised for a number of years by a certain person. It doesn't give you the claim. Just because all you have the claim to fame is having been raised by someone for 11 years, right? That's not enough. Just because you were raised by someone for 11 years, right, that's very famous, does not make you a Hebrew Israelite, right? Okay, so, as I said, joyous Ramadan, and Alhamdulillah, the 50,000 celestial year is official. It began after the Passover. Burn your energy correctly. Burn it wisely. Burn it slowly. Burn it very, very slowly, because it's not going to be easy to get it replenished. There will be a lot of falling away. Might I say there will be a lot of death. Not because, people are going to be killing one another. No. They're just like a car. When it runs out of gas, it stops. Well, the same thing's going to happen to people. those who choose not to stand with Muhammad. There will be a lot of people who survive, because if you look at the protest, right? Though that was standing with Muhammad. That was like standing with Muhammad, right? Those who came to the protests in Ireland, all around the world. So there will be a lot of, people to survive, mashallah. But there will also be a lot who do not, because they chose not to stand with Muhammad, right? They chose to continue to play the game, right, of the fake Illuminati. They tried to play the fake game, right? And they chose to try to harm people. They attempted to try to harm myself included. My son is still incarcerated, right? As a political prisoner, because I refuse to not support the Dixiecrats, and the destruction of the humanity, and going against my own spirituality of Islam, and aid and support the genocide, and support the Zionists, Joe Biden, and the Dixiecrats, and because I still continue to support PDJT, and Allah show favor on PDJT, because that's why a lot of people don't want to be black, because look what's happening to PDJT. What's happening to PDJT happens to black people, Hebrew Israelites, all the time. Every day of the week. Look where my son is. And now if he doesn't shut up, according to them, right? They're threatening him to incarcerate him if he doesn't abide by a gag order. Isn't that what they do to Isn't that what they did to Malcolm X? Martin Luther King? Marcus Garvey? Right? Nelson Mandela? Incarcerate them or assassinate them because they won't shut up? Well, that's what they're trying to do to PDJT. Allah show great favor in him and protect him. But threatening to incarcerate him like they do Hebrew Israelite, melanin black foundational Americans, right? Take all their wealth. Isn't that what they try to do with him? $400 million? $400,000 million, or some odd, ridiculous number to which they were discriminating against him, using, disparagingly treating him, right? Racist against him, right? So that's what they do all the time. Charge him with RICO charges? Really? That's racketeering. Charging him with 9 counts of whatever they charge him with, right? Not 91, right? 91, right? Okay. Allah curse them, and Allah be with PDJT, mashallah. And so that's why not many people want to be identified with black people, because they don't want to identify with the plight. They love the music, they love the culture, they love the food. We're going to go to video 3.